Hello and welcome to the next Lukozer retro game review video. So for this one it is Golden Axe, which was released by Virgin in 88 I think. Actually no, it might have been a bit later than that. I'll have to check the date. So this is a conversion of the arcade coin-op, 1990, there we go. And well, you look at the way it's presented, it's very similar to the coin-op version in almost every way. Unfortunately, that does backfire on them when you start the game. I'll come to that in a minute. So what you're hearing is a rendition of the Golden Axe theme by your own tell. It has been rather jazzed up, shall we say. It's not one of his greatest, but it's not bad. He also does the music that's played during the game, if you select it. So anyway, as I was saying, the presentation, I say, is very, very similar to the arcade coin-op, but that does backfire on them when you start the game. So let's start it, and it takes us to the character select. Now, as you can see, just like the arcade version, you have the choice of the three characters, and just like the arcade version, you can see that the skeleton in the background there has both his hands out for the two players, except the Commodore 64 version does not have a two-player mode. It is one player only. So by having this screen here, it is really sort of showing that one of the major features of Golden Axe is missing. That's not so good. So we'll choose this cunt. I'll have the music playing. The game is multi-load, unsurprisingly. It is a bit intrusive, to say the least, but because I don't have True Drive emulation on, it's not so bad. Now, it may not be apparent just yet, but it will soon become apparent that this game does have one fairly major issue while you are playing it. In fact, there is another issue that is already becoming apparent. If you have music playing, there are no sound effects at all, so you can't hear if your hits are actually you know, making contact. You just have to hope that they are. It's one of the problems with having either music or sound effects, but you can't have both. I am forever fucking missing these cunts. And now another one comes along and I'm fucking missing him as well because I can't get in line. Alright, so well, with this character you have the middle strength magic. The Valkyrie has the highest magic. The dwarf's magic is quite weedy. Now you ain't notice, you look at the bottom there, you got my health meter with the 3 blue bars, except it's down to 1. And you also get 5 lives, which is a hell of a lot more than you get in the arcade coin-op. So you would think that that means this game is more difficult than the arcade coin-op. Which it isn't. The reason it isn't is something that you may have spotted by now. There is only ever one enemy on screen at the time. And you might think that I quite like that, because when I did my review of the Golden Axe coin-op, one of my issues was the number of times the enemies just completely swarm around you. And well, obviously they are not going to do that here because well, they can't. There's only one enemy on screen. Right, so that's my magic up to full, although you wouldn't think it because the magic display is extremely glitchy. Now we get to here with the dragon. I'll get on the dragon. Now in the arcade version, having the dragon is extremely useful. On the Commodore 64 version, it isn't, because it fires so slow. So if I just keep hammering the fire button from now, right, so he fires once, and there is this long old pause before he fires again. So your attack rate is now dramatically slowed as a result of you being on the dragon, and there is fuck all you can do about it. And if you miss like I did there, you've then got to wait a while before you are going to be able to attack again. Let's see, I'm trying to follow up the attack, and also his attack is so weedy that it's taking me a lot longer to defeat this enemy than it would do if I was just, if I wasn't on the dragon at all. But if you keep moving around, the enemies can't hit you, but it's taking so fucking long to actually finish them off. So this thing with only one enemy on the screen, it does make the game fucking boring. I mean, with the arcade version, okay, because you can have two players on screen at the time, there is, a way of getting around having the enemies constantly swarming you. So it is almost forgivable, although it's a fucking pain in the arse if you know for a fact that you are not going to have a second player. So anyway, I've lost my dragon, which is no big deal because I can now just fucking attack normally and defeat the enemies a lot quicker. So let's start the review then. Graphically, I think it's not bad. I mean, it's instantly recognisable as Golden Axe. There's no denying that. The graphics are, especially for a Commodore 64, which doesn't have the highest of resolutions, and its sprites can often be a bit blocky. And okay, they are a bit blocky here, so much so that sometimes it looks like it's using expanded sprites, but I don't think it is. But yeah, I mean, they are, like I say, all instantly recognisable as being, various characters from Golden Axe. So graphically it looks okay, and the presentation of the game means that again it does look pretty good. Let's use me magic. I'm trying to use magic, there we go. Fucking hell, that was my full magic, and yet it didn't seem to do next to fuck all to him. Alright, so he's down now. So now we've got the second cunt. Now I don't actually have any magic left, but it's still showing 1 and 3/4 potions in the bar for my magic abilities, which is bollocks really. So of course, yeah, in the arcade version, these two, big fucking fat bald cunts, it's almost like they based it on me, they both appear on screen at the same time and both attack you at the same time, so they are quite tough. Here, no, you can kill one and only then does the second one appear, so you've got a much better chance. Especially as, even though I've been moving around, you can just, fuck off. You know, I get that one when it don't fucking make any difference. Right, well there we go, so that's level 1 complete, and now we're on to the fucking multi-loaders at level 2 comes along. And the game starts immediately when you reach level 2, so there's no, you know, you can't decide to go and put the kettle on while it's loading. No, you've got to sit here because the game will start as soon as the level is done loading. So anyway, carrying on then with the review part. So graphics are pretty good. Audio, your own tale does not do bad music. It's as simple as that. It's not the best music he's done, especially in game. It is a bit, you know, by his standards, it's a bit dreary. But oh, fuck off. And yeah, the sound effects are, they're okay, they're not the greatest. Don't think we're going to actually hear them, but yeah, they're really not anything to write home about, so you know, don't get all misty eyed about the sound effects or anything, because yeah, they're not all that. And the gameplay, I mean, it's not too dissimilar to what I was saying about Space Harrier when I did the review of that in the previous video. It plays like you know, it does play like the coin-op, but because of necessary changes, at least that's assuming they really are necessary. I mean, is it really necessary for the Commodore 64 version to only have one enemy on screen at a time? You never have more than one enemy? Well, anyway, regardless of whether that was necessary or not, that's the design choice that they came up with. And it means that the game is rather boring, rather dreary. There's not much to do. So there's another fucking dragon here. Okay, let's get on him, if it will let me. Here we go. Now it's this, yeah, it's the fireball shooting one, but how quickly does he fire? Yeah, not very quickly at all. Again. Still, let's give it a go. Fuck off. Right. And then miss with that one. I mean, you can see how fucking weedy the attack is. I mean, I hit her fuck knows how many times, but she still gets up. So using the dragons is really not a good idea. Now, I'm almost dead, so I might use me magic again in a minute just so that I could use it. Yeah, let's use it. Well, I'm trying to use it. I'm pressing the fucking button to use it, but it's not doing anything. So, yeah. Another fucking glitch with the game, I think. Anyway, so that is Golden Axe. No, I'm not continuing. I am not a fan. It's it looks okay, but it fucking plays unbelievably boring and dreary, and things like, you know, pressing the key to use your magic and then it not doing anything really doesn't help either. So I score it, well, this music is okay, and graphically it's okay, and presentation wise it's okay, so I'll score it 3 out of 10, but it gets absolutely fuck all as far as the gameplay goes. So really, if you want to enjoy the best thing about this game, download the SID file, which is something you hear me say quite often, and yeah, that will do. Alright, that brings this review to an end, and we will see you at the next one.